Welcome to the Deep Dives, where we take your sources and really distill the most potent insights just for you. Now, let's be honest. Almost all of us, at some point, have, well, firmly believe that working harder is the direct path to more money. It's a natural, almost ingrained instinct, isn't it? More hours, more grind, more reward. But today, we're diving into material that's going to challenge that very idea. Our sources suggest that simply working harder, well, it isn't always true. And in fact, it often won't make you truly wealthy. It's a fascinating reframe of a belief many of us hold dear.
Yeah, it really is. And what becomes incredibly clear when you look at, say, successful individuals, as our material points out, is that the real way to grow your income isn't just about clocking more hours. It's fundamentally about creating more value.
More value. Okay.
Right. I mean, consider the classic example. Billionaires aren't working 10,000 times harder or longer than you or I. That's just not possible.
Yeah.
There's a completely different kind of leverage at play, a distinct approach to how they invest their time and effort to generate wealth.
Absolutely. That leverage. That feels like the secret sauce. And that's precisely what we're here to unpack today. We're taking a deep dive into excerpts from Boost Your Income, Productivity Hacks for Wealth. This source lays out 5 remarkably straightforward productivity hacks that successful people consistently use to create that outsized value. Our mission today is to break down each one, giving you a clear path to understanding how to move beyond just hard work and leverage your time for real income growth. Get ready for some genuine aha moments that could, truly shift your perspective. So let's start with a foundational idea. Income growth isn't about working more. It's about creating more value. The source emphasizes this isn't about simply clocking in, but strategically shifting our entire approach to time and effort. It's just income growth stems from value creation, not merely time on the clock. Our first hack is surprisingly direct, and honestly, it might make you look at your remote control a little differently. Our first hack from the source is cut back on TV. Sounds almost simple, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does seem a bit, basic on the surface.
But the source uncovers a real cost here that goes far beyond just your monthly streaming subscription. We're not just talking about the direct expense of entertainment. So beyond that $15 a month, what's the actual impact on our income potential?
Well, when we connect this to the bigger picture of, say, wealth creation, the source makes a powerful argument. The real cost of excessive TV or, passive leisure isn't the subscription fee, it's the opportunity cost.
Opportunity cost, okay.
Exactly. Imagine this. If you spend just 2 to 3 hours less on TV each night, that's potentially 14 to 21 hours a week.
Wow, yeah, that adds up fast.
It really does. And what if those hours were intentionally dedicated, maybe to mastering a new skill that could boost your salary, or building a simple side hustle, or even just networking with a couple of new people in your industry each week? That accumulated time, actively invested, it doesn't just pass by. It builds assets, connections, or expertise. Things that can directly translate into a significant income boost over time, potentially dwarfing the cost of any streaming service.
So it's not about never relaxing.
No, not at all. This isn't about eliminating relaxation, but about being incredibly intentional with your leisure, ensuring it serves your long-term goals rather than just, consuming precious time.
That framing of opportunity cost is incredibly powerful. Intentional leisure, not just passive consumption. But for many, the idea of sacrificing that downtime, it feels extreme. Does the source offer a way to balance that, to ensure we're not just replacing one form of burnout with another? Or is it really just about identifying where your time generates the most value?
It's definitely about intentionality, not deprivation. The source isn't advocating for an absolute elimination of all downtime. No way. Instead, it subtly prompts us to evaluate how we use our leisure. Is it truly rejuvenating, or is it merely a passive time filler?
That's a good question to ask yourself.
Right. The implicit message is to redirect time spent on low-value leisure into high-value personal or professional growth, which should lead to more fulfilling pursuits that ultimately enhance both well-being and wealth. It's about being mindful about what gives back to you rather than just what takes your attention.
That makes perfect sense, a conscious choice rather than a default. Okay, let's move on to our second hack. Do the hardest thing first. We've all felt that familiar dread, right, of a big, important task looming over us, the one that makes your stomach clench a little.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
The temptation to put it off, to chip away at smaller, easier things first, is incredibly strong. You probably have a task in mind right now that you've been avoiding, haven't you?
Yeah.
What does the source tell us about tackling that beast head on?
Well, the real brain hack here, as the source points out, is the incredible psychological shift and the efficiency boost you get. It's not just about ticking off a box. It's about reclaiming your mental clarity.
Mental clarity. How so?
When you delay the most important or challenging task, it doesn't just sit there, it occupies valuable mental real estate. It creates this like constant hum of anxiety and it drains your cognitive energy. People talk about decision fatigue or task residue.
Yeah, I know that feeling.
So, by tackling that toughest task first thing in the morning, when your energy and focus are typically at their peak, you ensure its completion. But more than that, you clear your mental deck, you reduce stress, and you generate this powerful wave of momentum. That carries through the rest of your day, making all the subsequent tasks feel easier.
Ah, so it has a knock-on effect.
Exactly. This directly contributes to creating value by knocking out high-impact work right away without that mental drag holding you back.
I can certainly relate to that mental drag. It's like a background process running on your brain, slowing everything down. But, for many, getting started on that big, scary task is the biggest hurdle. Does the source offer any tips for overcoming that initial resistance, for just making yourself take that first step?
Well, the source doesn't maybe delve into specific psychological techniques like, eat the frog in super detail.
Yeah.
But its emphasis on just starting, which is actually hack number 5 we'll get to, is highly relevant here.
Yeah.
The core idea is that the dread often diminishes once you simply begin. Maybe breaking the task into the smallest possible first step or committing to just, say, 15 minutes of focused work, that can often be enough to overcome that initial inertia.
Just get the ball rolling.
Right. The source reinforces that consistency in tackling high-value tasks is key, and that often means not waiting for motivation to strike, but rather acting to create motivation.
Act to create motivation. I like that. It's about building the habit.
Uh-huh.
Okay, here's where it gets really interesting with our third hack. Don't waste time on small tasks.
Yeah.
The source suggests a powerful yet nuanced strategy here. It isn't just about delegation, but smart resource management tailored to your current situation.
Yeah, this one's really insightful. This hack offers a critical insight into leverage and strategic resource allocation. The source presents this sort of two-pronged approach that's quite adaptable. First, it advises, if you can pay someone to do a small task while you focus on something bigger, do it.
Right, the delegation part.
Exactly, and this highlights the often underestimated value of your own time. If you can outsource a low-value activity, maybe it's admin work, certain household chores, simple research for a small fee, and use that freed up time to work on something that generates significantly more income or value, well, it's a net gain.
Makes sense.
This allows you to allocate your most valuable resource, your unique skills, your focused energy to high-impact value-generating activities.
Okay, but what if you can't afford to delegate?
And this is crucial for our listener. The source immediately offers a practical caveat. But if you don't have extra money yet, do the work yourself and save.
So it's not absolute.
No, exactly. This isn't about saying never do small tasks if you're on a tight budget. It's about making smart situational choices. If the choice is between paying someone or doing it yourself, and you lack the funds, do it yourself and save that money. Maybe to invest later in value-generating activities, or to fund future delegation when you can. It emphasizes always prioritizing your time and effort towards bigger, more impactful goals, adapting your strategy to your current financial reality.
That flexibility is key. It's not a blanket delegate everything, but a strategic decision based on where you are right now. So how do you actually know if a task is small enough to delegate or if it's something you should be doing yourself? What's the guiding principle here for our listener? How do they make that call?
That's a great question. I think the guiding principle is to constantly ask yourself, what is the highest value activity I could be doing right now?
Okay. Highest value use of my time.
Precisely. If a task can be done by someone else for less than what your high value time is worth per hour, then it's a candidate for delegation. Eventually. So if you're building a business, for instance, maybe writing social media posts feels small compared to developing a new product.
Right.
But if you're just starting out and your marketing budget is, let's say, 0, then writing those posts yourself is the highest value activity you can do at that moment.
Yeah.
Because it's moving your goal forward within your current constraints. It's about this conscious calculation of your personal, let's call it hourly rate versus the cost of outsourcing, and then making a choice that maximizes your overall value creation.
That's a great practical framework for making those decisions. Yeah. Okay, this next one, hack number 4. Own something that makes money. This one really hits home. It highlights a fundamental truth that the source explicitly states: there's only so much you can earn by working.
Hmm.
This feels like a major aha moment for many people who are conditioned to think their income is just directly tied to their active labor. This hack fundamentally pushes past that linear earning model.
Indeed. It's a big shift. If we
Yeah.
connect this to the bigger picture of creating sustained value and, genuine wealth, the source identifies the inherent ceiling on income from direct labor. It's just math, really. When you're directly trading hours for dollars, whether you're an employee or a freelancer, your income is always capped. Capped by the number of hours you can physically work and the rate you can command for those hours. There are only 24 hours in a day, right?
Right, a hard limit.
So the source then brilliantly suggests that by owning a business, a side hustle, or an investment, your money can start to grow without your continuous active labor.
Money working for you, essentially.
Exactly. This is about shifting from that linear income model where you directly exchange your time for money to a more exponential one where assets work to generate wealth for you.
Can you give an example?
Sure. Think about an online course you create once and it sells repeatedly, earning money while you sleep. Or a small automated e-commerce business that mostly runs itself. This allows you to scale your income far beyond your personal capacity for labor, truly creating more value through systems and assets rather than just your individual effort.
That's a huge shift in perspective, moving from an active earner to an asset owner. It speaks to building leverage into your life. But okay, for someone just starting who isn't already wealthy or doesn't have a big chunk of capital to invest, how does the source suggest they begin to own something that makes money? Where do you find that first asset?
That's a really practical question. The source implicitly encourages starting small and leveraging what you already have, your skills, your knowledge, maybe even just your time initially.
Use what you've got.
Exactly. It's about identifying a problem you can solve for others or a skill you can maybe productize. Maybe it's a digital product like an ebook or a template, something with a low upfront cost to create.
Okay.
Or perhaps it's a small investment in a diversified fund, even with modest monthly contributions. The principle is the same. The key is to start building something that can generate income independently of your direct labor.
Plant the seeds.
Right. It's about planting those seeds now, understanding that even small assets can compound over time to build significant wealth. The emphasis isn't on immediate millions, obviously, but on creating an income stream that isn't directly tied to your daily effort.
That's a much more accessible entry point for many people.
Oh.
Okay. And finally, our fifth hack, just start. How many times have we heard people say they're waiting for the perfect time to launch that business idea or try something new?
Oh, constantly.
There's this pervasive fear of imperfection, isn't there?
Yeah.
We want everything to be just right before we take that first step, sometimes to our own detriment, holding us back.
Yeah, and this raises that important question about the paralysis of perfectionism, which the source directly addresses and counters. It states, pretty unequivocally, the best way to learn is by doing.
Learn by doing. Simple but powerful.
Very. Waiting for the perfect time, for all the stars to align, or for a flawless plan is often just a sophisticated form of procrastination. We've all done it.
Guilty as charged.
And it prevents you from gaining invaluable experience, getting crucial feedback, and adapting to real-world conditions. The source emphasizes starting now, even if it's small, as the most effective path to progress and acquiring new skills.
Even if it's small.
Right. Think of it as iterative learning. Launch a minimal viable product, get feedback, improve, relaunch. This ties back to creating value through action and continuous learning rather than endless planning or waiting for some elusive perfect moment. In action, you discover what works and what doesn't, you adapt and improve along the way, which is far more productive than simply strategizing indefinitely. It's about progress over perfection.
Progress over perfection. That's a fantastic mantra. But for many, that first step is terrifying. The fear of failure or maybe looking foolish, it's very real. Does the source offer any strategies for pushing past that initial paralysis, especially when the stakes feel high?
Well, I think the source's emphasis on starting small is key here. It helps reframe the whole thing. It reframes starting as an experiment, not some definitive make-or-break launch.
An experiment. Less pressure.
Yeah, exactly. An experiment is designed to gather data, to learn. And there's no real failure in learning, is there? By minimizing the initial investment of time, money, or frankly, ego, you reduce the perceived risk. This allows you to dip your toes in, gather real feedback, build confidence, making subsequent steps less daunting.
Okay.
The message is clear. Small, consistent actions overcome inertia and build momentum far more effectively than waiting for that elusive, perfect moment. Just get going.
So, wrapping this up,
Yeah.
what does this all mean for us, for you who are listening and looking to truly boost your income? Our deep dive today from Boost Your Income, Productivity Hacks for Wealth really shifts our perspective from simply working harder to consciously creating more value and doing it smarter.
Absolutely. We've explored how seemingly small, yet really intentional changes can fundamentally alter your financial trajectory, from reevaluating passive leisure time.
Like cutting back on TV.
Right. And purposefully tackling tough tasks
The
first.
hardest thing first.
Yeah. To strategically allocating your most valuable resource, your time, and building assets that generate income.
Owning something that makes money.
And ultimately, overcoming that analysis paralysis by just taking action, just starting. It's really all about intentionality and how you invest your time and energy. And recognizing that true income growth comes from more than just brute effort. It's about smart, focused, value-driven effort applied consistently.
Absolutely. It's not just about doing more. It's about doing the right things and doing them smarter and more intentionally. As you reflect on these powerful insights from Boost Your Income, here's something for you to consider. Of these 5 powerful hacks, cut back on TV, do the hardest thing first, don't waste time on small tasks, own something that makes money, or just start. Which one? Which one do you feel could make the most significant difference in your life right now if you were to implement it? And maybe more importantly, what's the very first smallest step you could take today to put it into action? Something to ponder as you continue on your own journey of building value and boosting your income. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive.